The next morning, the boy went to the king and said, "I have heard that there is a haunted castle nearby with a great treasure that is guarded by ghosts. People say that if someone stays for 3 nights in that castle, then they can get the treasure and also can marry your daughter. If you let me, I will stay in the haunted castle for 3 nights." The king was very happy, and he said, "Of course. Now, these are the rules. You may ask for 3 things to take into the castle with you, but they must be things that are not alive." The boy said, "Then I will take a fire, a woodcarver's bench, and a knife." A bench is a long seat for 2 or more people. So the king had the fire, the wooden bench, and the knife brought into the castle for the boy. And at night, the boy went into the castle and sat down on the bench next to the fire. "Oh, I wish I could shudder," said the boy to himself, "but I'm sure I won't learn it here either." At midnight, the boy got up to stir the fire, and as he was blowing into the fire, he heard a voice cry from one of the corners of the room. "Meow, meow, how cold we are," said the voice. "What are you crying about?" said the boy. "If you are cold, come and sit down by the fire and warm yourselves." As soon as the boy had said that, 2 large black cats jumped up on the bench. Each cat sat on one side of the boy, so that he was in the middle between them. The cats looked at the boy with hungry eyes. After warming themselves by the fire for a while, the cat said to him, "Friend, let's play a game of cards." "Why not?" said the boy. "But first, show me your paws." Paws are the feet of cats. So the cat showed him their paws, and they stretched out their claws. "Oh," said the boy, "what long claws you have. Wait, first I will have to cut your claws for you." With that, the boy grabbed the cats by the neck and held them down on the bench. "I've been looking at your claws," said the boy, "and I've decided I don't want to play cards with you after all." And the boy killed the cats with the knife and threw their bodies out the window into the lake below the castle. After he had killed the cats, the boy sat down by the fire again. But suddenly, from every side, there came more black cats and also black dogs. They all had red eyes, and they carried red-hot chains with them. A chain is a line of metal rings connected together to make a rope. More and more black cats and black dogs appeared until the room was full of them, and the boy could hardly move. They shouted horribly, and they jumped into the fire and tried to put the fire out by pulling it apart. The boy watched them for a little while, but finally it was too much for him. He grabbed his knife and said, "Get out of here, all of you!" And he chased them with the knife. Some of the dogs and cats ran away, and others he killed. He threw all the dead bodies into the lake. Then, finally, he came back to the fire again and warmed himself up. As he sat by the fire, he began to feel tired, and he wanted to fall asleep. Looking around, he saw a large bed in the corner. "That is just what I wanted," he said, and he lay down on the bed. However, as he was about to shut his eyes, the bed began to move by itself. The bed started running around the castle. The boy opened his eyes. "This is good," he said, "but let's go faster." So the bed went faster. The bed ran around the castle as if it were being pulled by 6 horses. It ran through the rooms, in and out of doorways, up and down the stairs. Finally, the bed stopped running and turned over so that it was on top of the boy. At first, the boy couldn't breathe because all of the blankets and pillows But then the boy threw the blankets and pillows into the air and climbed out from under the bed. "I'm done riding," he said. "Someone else can have a turn riding in the bed now." Then the boy lay down by the fire and slept until it was daytime. In the morning, the king came into the castle. And when the king saw the boy lying there on the ground, he thought that the boy was dead and that ghosts had killed him. "Oh no," said the king. "It really is too bad to lose such a brave and handsome boy." When the boy heard this, he got up. "Don't worry, I'm not dead," he said. The king was surprised but glad. He asked the boy how he was. "I'm very good," answered the boy. "One night is already finished. The other 2 will be easy as well." When the boy returned to the innkeeper was very surprised. "I did not think that I would see you alive again," said the innkeeper. "Did you learn how to shudder?" "No, I still haven't learned to shudder," said the boy. "I wish someone could tell me how." The second night, the boy went back to the haunted castle. He sat on his bench by the fire and said to himself once more, "I wish I could shudder. I wish I could shudder." A little before midnight, the boy heard a noise and the sound of something moving. At first, the noise was quiet, but then it got louder and louder. Finally, there was a loud scream, and half a man came down the chimney and fell in front of the boy. A chimney is an opening above the fireplace that allows smoke from the fire to go out through the roof. The man had only the upper half of his body. He did not have any legs. "Hey!" shouted the boy. "There's supposed to be another half somewhere. This is not enough." Then the noise came again, and with a loud howling and roaring, the second half fell down the chimney as well. "That's better," said the boy. "Wait, let me blow on the fire and make it warmer for you." The boy went to blow on the fire and make it bigger. When he looked back, both halves of the body had joined together to make a very ugly and scary looking man. The man was sitting on the bench. "Hey," said the boy, "that's not what we agreed on. You can sit by the fire, but that bench is mine." The man tried to push the boy away, but the boy pushed back and eventually pushed hard enough to move the man off the bench. Then more men fell down the chimney. They brought with them 9 human bones and 2 human skulls. A skull is the bones for your head. They set the bones up and then used the skulls to go bowling. The boy wanted to play too and said, "Listen, can I bowl with you?" "Yes," the men answered, "if you have money." "I have plenty of money," said the boy. So the boy went bowling with them. They bet money on the games. To bet means to risk money on a game. If you can win, you get more money. If you lose your money. And the boy lost some of his money. But then, when the clock struck midnight, everything disappeared. So the boy lay down and went to sleep. The next morning, the king came to learn what had happened. "How did you do this time?" he asked. "I went bowling," said the boy, "and lost a bit of money." "Did you shudder?" asked the king. "I did not," said the boy. "I had great fun, but nobody taught me how to shudder." On the third night, the boy sat down on the bench again and said quite sadly, "I wish I could shudder." Later that night, 6 large men came into the castle carrying a coffin. A coffin is a box in which a dead body is put. When the boy saw this, he said, "Aha, this must be my little cousin who died a few days ago." Then the boy motioned with his finger and said, "Come, little cousin, come." The large men put the coffin on the ground. The boy went up to it and took the lid off. A dead man lay inside. The boy felt his face, and it was as cold as ice. "Wait," he said, "I will warm you up a little." The boy went to the fire and warmed his own hand, and then went back to the dead man and put his hand on the dead man's face. But the dead man remained cold. So the boy took the dead man out of the coffin and brought him over to the fire, and put the dead man on his lap, and rubbed the dead man's arms to try to get him warm again. When that did not help either, the boy thought to himself, "When two people lie in bed together, they keep each other warm." So he carried the dead man to the bed and put him under the covers and lay down next to him. A little while later, the dead man became warm too and began to move. The boy said, "See, little cousin, I got you warm, didn't I?" But the dead man cried out, "I am going to strangle you." Strangle means to kill someone by putting your hands around their throat and squeezing. "What?" said the boy. "Is that how you thank me? Get back into your coffin." He picked up the dead man, threw him inside the coffin, and shut the lid. Then the 6 large men came back and carried the coffin away again. "I cannot shudder," the boy said, "and I won't learn it here as long as I live." Then another man came in. This man was bigger than all the other men, and he looked very scary. But he was old, and he had a long white beard. "You fool!" shouted the old man. "You will soon learn to shudder, for you are about to die." "Not so fast," said the boy. I'm not going to die until I decide I'm ready." The old man grabbed the boy. "I've got you," said the old man. "Don't be so sure," said the boy. "I am just as strong as you are, and probably even stronger." "We will see about that," said the old man. "If you are stronger than I am, then I will let you go. Come, let's see who is stronger." The old man took the boy through the dark passageways to a room where there were a lot of anvils. An anvil is a block of iron. Anvils are very heavy. The man took an axe and he hit the anvil as hard as he could, and with only one hit, he sent the anvil down into the ground. "I can do better than that," said the boy, and he went to another anvil. The old man stood nearby because he wanted to see what would happen. As he stood nearby, the old man's beard hung down. The boy took the axe and split the anvil in two. The old man's beard got caught in the crack between the two parts of the anvil. A crack is a narrow space between two parts. "Now I have you," said the boy. "Now it is your turn to die." And the boy took an iron bar and hit the old man with it many times until the old man cried and begged him to stop. The old man said that he would give the boy a great treasure if he would stop. So the boy stopped hitting the old man and removed his axe from the anvil so that the old man's beard was no longer caught in the crack. The old man led the boy back into the castle and showed him 3 chests full of gold in the basements. "Of these chests," said the old man, "one is for the poor, one is for the king, and one is for you." Then the clock struck midnight, and the old man disappeared, leaving the boy standing alone in the dark. "I can find my own way back," the boy said. And feeling around in the dark, he eventually found his way back to the bedroom and fell asleep by his fire. The next morning, the king came and said, "By now, you must have learned how to shudder." "No," answered the boy. "How could I learn how to shudder? My dead cousin was here, and a bearded man came and showed me a lot of money, but no one showed me how to shudder." The king said, "You have stayed in this castle for 3 nights and gotten rid of all the ghosts and saved the treasure. Now you can marry my daughter." "That is all good news," said the boy, "but I still do not know how to shudder." The gold was brought out from the castle, and the boy married the king's daughter, and everyone celebrated the wedding. The boy then became the new king, and the new king loved his wife very much. However, no matter how happy he was still always saying, "I wish I could shudder. I wish I could shudder." Eventually, his wife got angry with him because he would not stop saying this. But the maid had an idea. A maid is a woman who works in someone's home. "I can help," said the maid. "I know how he can learn to shudder." The maid went to the river outside the castle and filled up her bucket with cold river water and minnows. Minnows are a kind of very small fish. That night, when the young king was sleeping, his wife pulled the covers off of him and dumped the bucket full of cold water and minnows onto him, so that the cold little fishes were moving all over him. The young king woke up shouting, "Oh no! What is this that is making me shudder?" And then the king realized what had happened, and he became very happy. "Ah, my dear wife," he said, "I have finally learned how to shudder."